Hello there, your friend Phil here. We got a question from one of our students about one of the mock exam questions, and it was about 2 cycles of life on every project. The question was testing to find out if you knew there are 2 life cycles on every project. And the question is, how come? I know there could be 1 life cycle, but why 2? Well, let's take a look at this. When you think about these cycles of life, this is how they are in the world of the PMI. In the world of the PMI, think about a project that is centered around what we'll call a waterfall approach, predictive approach. All right. And the steps you could have on a project like this would be something to the effect of analysis, the first phase, design, develop, test, implement. For example, okay? So think about these phases on this project. These phases is what we refer to as the project life cycle. Now, this project life cycle is happening on every project, whether it's an IT project, an engineering project, a food project, healthcare project. It has its own cycle of life, which could vary from this. It's not always analysis, design, develop, test, and implement. On a construction project, it's going to be something else. In a healthcare project, it could be something else. But the bottom line is that the project life cycle depends on the nature of work being done. The nature of work determines this cycle of life. This is a software development life cycle. But there are other cycles of life on projects. Okay, so now you get it. The first life cycle is the project life cycle. Now, the second life cycle that is happening under the hood, out of plain sight, is something we call the project management life cycle. And the project management life cycle is simply this. What you, the project manager, do to manage the project work. In other words, the tasks and all the other parameters. What you do to manage schedule, cost, scope, risk, procurement, everything. That is known as the project management lifecycle. And guess what? Each one of these could have a project management lifecycle happening in each phase. So we carry out something known as a project management lifecycle, which is, now you're going to know it, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. We do that for analysis. Then we move into design. We initiate it, we plan it, we execute it, we monitor and control it, and we close it. We do the same for develop. You get in the picture, initiate it, plan it, execute it, monitor and control it, and close it. We do the same thing for every phase. The phase is initiated, it's planned, it's executed, it's monitored and controlled, and many reviews, milestone reviews, and then we close it. And we close it out with a milestone review, a handover of some sort, a kill point, a phase exit, a phase end review, one of those. And that is what we do in the world of project management. Whether it's explicit or implicit, these things are happening. We are initiating, planning, we're executing, we're monitoring and controlling, and we're closing. Whether you want to look at it as what you're doing for phase, whether you want to look at it as something that's happening in an iteration, the idea is that there are these overlapping things. And if I was to use the legend here, it would be the circle represents a phase from a project life cycle, but what I was writing on top, the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling and closing, these are the 5 process groups, also known as the project management. You got to remember it has the word management life cycle. So there's a difference between a project life cycle and the project management life cycle. And that's why we said in the quiz, there are 2 cycles of life at any point in the project. All right. You could look at it as one of those PMI isms. Back in the day, this used to be part of the PMP exam staple diet, and we've held true to it to remind people, hey, you got 2 cycles of life. Think about what you're doing to do the work, and think about what you're doing to get the work managed and under control. All right, so I hope that helps. Thanks for the question. Take care. Bye for now.